Unbelievable. I'm tired, y'all. Can I get a pass? I've done almost 5,000 shows, and this is the first time this happened to me. So I was gabbing, so I had to rewind it back. That's funny. I wasn't going to try to be cool and say, oh, it was one of the buttons, whatever. No, I'm going to show you. I looked down, and I did this show perfect. I set everything up, took my time, didn't rush. and it comes down to something as simple as this. Look at that, just a wire. Because I have multiple microphones around, and sometimes this is adjustable, but I keep one up, I keep one down, just accessible, so I can just grab and throw it together. You don't want to see my desk right now. It is so messy. I've been drawing, I got my drawing pencils out here. I've been doing all kind of stuff. I got my almond milk, I got my water, I got everything jumbled up over here. So the place is a mess. It looked like a hurricane hit it. And before we even get into everything, I want to tell you, I had a weird experience just earlier. I was sitting right here. There's a window that goes out, and I'm on the second floor, but there's a hallway that comes up right in front of the window where the lady on the other side, she lives, and there's steps over here where you can go up to the other 2 units. There's only four apartments in this apartment building. So I can leave that window open, there's bars across, but sometimes the curtains blow open. So I got ghetto with it. I took these, right? Clothespins, put it right by the bars. Now nobody can really see in the bars. You can't push your hand in. All of a sudden, I didn't notice it, but it was so quiet. It was so quiet. And all of a sudden it was like, and the curtains blew, not just up like this, it blew up against the ceiling and flat, like we don't want nothing to do with this wind. And all of a sudden, all the windows, I had them open, but the screens were closed. Rain was coming in sideways, and by the time I got up, I had about a bucket of water on the ground. In the bedroom, in the other bedroom, coming by the shower's okay because it's water, it's where water goes. But it was a rough, the wind had to be, it went from 0 to, no lie, I swear, about between 65 and 75 miles per hour winds. I saw transformers sparking up about half a mile down the road. I took some video of it. I don't know how it looked because I had to hold on to my phone because I'm like, I'm not gonna let this phone blow out of my hand and go in the rain and just get beat up like that. I never have luck with phones anyway. But it was frightening because it wasn't just, ooh, it was, and it came, even blew gnats inside of here, all kind of bugs when I opened it up. Bugs are like, yo, we getting out of here, we coming in here with you. Now I'm stuck with them, right? Anyway, yeah, and I was talking away. Sweet D, plugging it in would help, for real. That's to show you I'm a little fatigued because I did everything technically right and proficient, but hey, I'm human and I'm gonna rest tomorrow. I got a little surprise footage tomorrow to get at around 1 o'clock my time, which is 9 o'clock your time, but it's gonna take a few more hours to come home and process it. And I have a lot of good footage with my smaller camera. I went down around the market area. And I had to say that one market area is a little, they don't pick up around themselves over. It's a little dirty. It looks like that's not a representative of all of a crowd. And I promise I'm going to stop, but I got some good, clear. It was beautiful. All the colors were bright. Everybody was friendly, and I'm just flowing. And I had my little camera down. I'm walking with it, right? And when I came home, I looked at it. Wait a second. What is this thing? I can hold it up. Give me a second. You know we do different things here. My camera's right over there. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'm gonna give you a taste of it. I'm like a little kid with a toy. Yeah, I gotta talk about these stories though, for real. Just put this on, see if you can really see it. Now, how did I do this now? Okay, here it is. No. How do I get to this now? Slide this over. No. Wait, it's okay. I think I do this. By the time you do a tutorial with this camera, it's like the next year's model is out. I don't know. You'll get it tomorrow. I'm proud of this. It's really, you're going to feel like you're there. A few people, like for me, I was saying, well, when I go around to some of the same places, it must get boring after a while. So they said, no, we like it. It's like we're there. Because there are a lot of folks who live, born and raised in Ghana, but they live in the UK, they live in the United States, South America, wherever. And they say, man, it makes me feel like I'm home. I remember I got some footage in Cape Coast, and I was just walking with it. And folks really appreciate that. They said, man, you walked right past my house and turned and stopped. I think somebody called me, and it was just a fluke, and they were so thankful for that, right? Well, I guess everybody is following right now. And again, this is not going to be something that's so very long. I can't believe I sitting here and didn't put the wire in. That's crazy. Well, I'm going to read something really quick just to get an idea because I am not of the legal mind, but I have a few things I want to say about that. And PayPal and Dave Chappelle. And we're going to wrap it up. See if I don't put so much pressure on myself to have like a 10-hour show that I can come in with more. As you see, I've been doing other stuff also. Thanks for the compliments on the other one when what was the video about the trauma. Oh, your trauma is not my fight. I didn't mean to be so confrontational, but I had to make a title that kind of grabbed you. And then I zoned in my Vulcan mind mode and just went off, right? Okay, Roe versus Wade was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. The decision struck down many U.S. federal and state abortion laws. Roe fueled an ongoing abortion debate in the United States about whether or to what extent abortion should be legal, who should decide the legality of abortion, and what the role of moral and religious views in the political sphere should be. It also shaped debate concerning which methods the Supreme Court should use in constitutional adjudication. Now, I'm not going to go deeper into that. I couldn't even repeat that if I had. Abortion is going to be possibly restricted from what I was told, because I don't want, once you start trying to explain something that you don't know 100% about, I just want to bring this up. I just want to say, what if abortion was banned? What if it was restricted? What is this all about? I mean, they have a Supreme Court law, a federal law, and possibly overturn it. I know there's going to be friction with different states. Again, I'm not a legal guy, so I don't know the legalities, and I don't have a rag nearby. I got a big behind towel, so we're going to take the big towel, and we're going to wipe my face with it. I got no shame in that, and toss it down. Anyway, what does it mean? What is it going to? Okay, look, I can see what's going to happen, and with many of us as Black people, our daughters, women. Okay, what happens if you were raped? What happens if, there's an ailment that you have that if you go forward with a pregnancy, you will definitely die? What happens in situations like that? Will they make special amends for those? Will they do something with the law to say, hey, if this is the case, then there's going to be a lot of women out here who might say that they were raped to be able to abort. Maybe it's going to force many of our sisters and many of our brothers to make better decisions. That there's a cat outside, just round. It's throwing me off. Let me find a rock. No, I wouldn't do nothing to a cat. But it's going to force us to really rethink things over. And I heard someone say on another video, or actually in the comment section, that this might help to alleviate the chastisement of America by them possibly doing this, where they're going to stop abortions ultimately, because the record number of abortions that we have in the Black community alone, I mean, it's terrible, because we have closed this window. Hold on a second. This thing, he's right up under the window making this noise. I'm gonna knock on your door. And he's in heat too. That cat's in heat. Out there spread eagle and marching, just straight up marching, trying to back that thing up on somebody. Anyway, this is something that's going to change. And will it really change things? I mean, what are they trying to force us into? A lot of our brothers are already locked up for child support. All I would say on an investment level, get the pregnancy test, invest in the stock or the crypto, you're going to make a lot of money, because there's going to be a lot of people out here testing to see if they're pregnant or not, because we're not going to change our behavior, and we won't have abortion to cover that up. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. I'm not in anybody's personal business here, to say who has and who hasn't, right? But a change is going to have to happen. We just can't say, oh, I got pregnant, so I took care of it. And we got to come back to who we really are. We should be acting responsible. It's going to make a lot of situations where there are going to be a lot of young ladies who are abandoned as it happens, right? It's the woman who carries a child for 9 months. And a lot of us are not able to take care of something that we didn't plan, that we indulged in out of pleasure and the circumstantial. We're going to have to think a lot better. We're going to have to do a lot better. Because I forgot how many abortions in America that the Black community has every year, but it is really bad. It is really bad. So we shouldn't let this affect us. We should be in control of our own lives. But what is this all about? That remains to be seen. I do know one thing, that we're being squeezed and we're being crushed. We're being pushed in a certain direction. And it doesn't seem like the different ways that we're being pushed are related, but it is related. Like when you have that old Native American person who put their finger up on a beautiful Sunday day, there will be storm in an hour and a half. You know, like, oh, he's a fool. I don't see any clouds. Hour and a half, you're trying to run for cover because the storm is coming. And we're so, these things are being shifted and moved so shrewdly. We're looking at COVID and they're predicting it like the weather. Well, it's going to come back in July and be a spike. What happened to Bill Gates? He's not talking anymore, right? All these people who set this thing in motion, and now we know, and I can't say much about it on the channel, right? We know certain things don't work. Zip, 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 zip. They don't work. I didn't say anything. I said zip, 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 and I hit myself in the shoulder. So if they knock me for another week or so, or 2 weeks, we got to complain for real. So what's the point of that? What's the point of us not having the right to choose for our body? Now, I believe in the right to choose. I don't like abortion. I don't like it. But if a woman says, hey, I've been violated, I don't want to bring this child. But it shouldn't be where, oh, I can't afford it. Then why did you lay down? It's going to force us to think now. We got to come back to earth and come back to the root of who we are. Because this world is spinning crazy. Like Sister Beatrice Noel said last night on the show, the one guy wanted to marry this hologram. Like what? I didn't know in the Japanese culture there was so much activity where it involved the man's anus and young boys or young boys' anuses. What kind of world are we living in? If we don't have the directions and the signposts to go where we have to go as a people, we're going to be lost too, because we pick up a lot of the things that the oppressor puts out there for us. And we run out there and we become the champions of the decadence that they put out. And they sit back and they're, yeah, look at these fools. They're following behind us. So we have a lot of questions. Now, I don't know if I want to bring this over to the site. I see everything's working pretty good. I'm going to keep it here for those. This is late. Like I said, I'm going to move on to the next one, and I'm not going to be out here too long. Dave Chappelle. Let me just read a little piece of this to get the facts right, because this show was put together in a swift manner, not haphazard, but I have my own ideas when I saw stuff, but I want to put the facts out there instead of messing up. I can't believe, y'all. I cannot believe I did everything right. I forgot to connect the wire. That's a big lesson in that. You know, I can do a rooftop on that alone, right? Anyway, here are the stunning moments when Dave Chappelle got tackled on stage at Hollywood Bowl. Comedian Dave Chappelle had just finished thanking one of the most prolific producers that hip hop has ever presented on stage at the Hollywood Bowl on Tuesday when a man emerged from the crowd and tackled the comedian onto the floor. The sound of Chappelle's microphone clanking onto the ground echoed through the 17,500-seat amphitheater as the audience looked on in surprise and confusion. What follows is a reconstruction of events based in part on videos recorded on site. More than half a dozen people immediately emerged from stage right and rushed after the man, who would later be identified as 23-year-old Isaiah Lee. Lee ran behind the backdrop as two men slipped across the stage and several others pursued him. Thump, thump, thump. I'm gonna kill that mother. But once again, upright, Chappelle shouted into the microphone. The security officials scrambled behind the comic and gathered around Lee, according to footage from the incident posted on social media. Wait, I gotta see this. Thank God that nigga was clumsy. He's back there getting stomped. Where did that sugar honey iced tea come from? The 48-year-old star also quipped that his attacker was a trans man. Oh, he's going to catch flack for that, right? Calling back the firestorm he ignited last fall by making jokes about transgender people during his controversial Netflix special, The Closer. The audience on Tuesday night erupted in laughter. The Emmy winner, who was about halfway through his set at the famed venue for the inaugural Netflix Is a Joke Comedy Festival, was joined by a number of comics for a show billed as Dave Chappelle and Friends. Chappelle had just wrapped up a routine in which he talked about how comics have to worry more these days about their personal security. The performer brought his own security guard, Travis, on stage at one point. I'm gonna drop this at the end in the not the comment section, but the description area, these links from that. So a whole lot more. But the point with that is because I don't really talk about something unless it's huge, or it's something I can find an angle. I just don't want to be a talking head because I know everybody's going to jump on this. I let it go for a little while, and I said, okay, let me just sit back. Let me just bring my point of view. Yes, it seemed like back in the day that stars, so-called, we'll call them stars, right? They call them stars, but we're stars. We're the stars, right? We're the ones. But stars were far away at one point. They were not accessible. If you saw a so-called celebrity, which we know we're the celebrities, we understand that, but one of those people who are manufactured and pushed and engineered by Hollywood, more so these days. Before, it was like you really had to have talent, you really had to have something going on for yourself to be one of those types. Now, it could take anybody and make them a celebrity. It's a formula now. But look, there was a distance. Now celebrities are accessible. They're too accessible. I'm going to rag social media for that. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Dave Chappelle has, the venue had 17,500 people there. That's possible before. Richard Pryor used to have his sold out concerts. Eddie Murphy had Raw and his other sold out things. Many comedians have done that. But now with the advent of social media and how accessible, we can tweet something to Dave Chappelle, and if he sees it and wants to answer, he can answer. There's more interaction, but you got to understand with that amplification of accessibility, we also have that small percentage of people who are not right in the head. People who feel that they own the so-called star or have some kind of connection with the so-called star. It's like many years ago, talk show host David Letterman had a stalker that actually showed up to his house repeatedly, right? That was back in those days, I believe, before social media was prominent, but the internet was around, but it wasn't around like it is now. Now we have our phones, things go out, we can talk to all of these people who are famous and rich and stars, and we feel like we're a part of them because we've invested so much time, like we're watching. Like if I see Dave Chappelle, I feel like I know him because I've watched so much of him. If I see any boxing star, it's like, whoa, and it's something in you because you spent, I'm not saying no homo business, but intimate moments with them, thinking about them. They make you laugh. You're laying in your bed and they're making you laugh. You're watching on the screen and the computer, and there's some connection you have to them, but there is no connection. They don't know you. Maybe some don't care about you. Maybe there are nice people out there, but they care about you, but you're a fan, so there has to be a healthy distance. Now, look at the energy that the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing helped to do. Would this have happened if that didn't happen? We don't know. Maybe it could be an incident that would have happened anyway. But this guy had a weapon, a knife that was shaped like a gun, but there was a knife on the end of it. And that made his charges go up even more because of the possibility of what could have happened. What if he ran up on the stage like that? He tackled Dave Chappelle. What if he had that it looked just like a gun, but it had a knife stuck out of it? What if he came with a roundhouse and just cut his throat? I don't wish this on him. I'm not bringing up that kind of energy, but the paranoid person that I am and can be sometimes, rightfully so because of the things I've been through, just like if you've been cut, you have a scab. I've been through some stuff that's quite traumatic, so I know I have a touch, if not a whole lot of PTSD because of the things that I've been through. I'm always watching, I'm always careful, but I'm not running around here tearing my hair out. It's already torn out, right? but it's too accessible, and we have these feelings. It happens with me on certain levels. I've had nutcases that have threatened me. I've had people that have shown up where I am, and because of Facebook and that whole location thing that they have, you go to a Whole Foods, boom, this person's there. You go across town a couple of miles, and they're there. Like, what, for real? And you realize you have this thing on. I'm not saying he used that to go. He went to the concert, pretty much paid his ticket, got in, and had that in his mind to do so, right? You don't know what people have in their mind. There's some funny things that I won't put out there that have happened near me here of people that possibly knew what I do and whatever. America was a whole different story. But I can't say that it was, oh yeah, it was a lot of sneaky stuff going on. There's a lot of sneaky stuff going on. I can tell you some stuff that now when I look back on it, I'm like, yo, there's definitely something going on. Definitely. And so you got to really watch how you move. So could you imagine? Dave Chappelle is not just a YouTuber. I'm not saying I'm just that, but this is what I'm known for. But Dave Chappelle is known all over the world, famous, these different stars. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't want it to happen, but look for more of this to happen, because people see that even if they take a behind whipping, get thrown in jail, that they have a touch of fame. Like, okay, I did that. I'm the one who did that. And then what? You want that? You want more likes on your social media? Are we going out for likes? Are we so bored with our life that we got to do something and go out like that in a bunch of flames just to get some attention? It's all about attention now. What happened to integrity? What happened to living a peaceful life? I mean, as much as I do on social media, I have a life. My life, most of it, you know, but it's still a peaceful, private life. I do have my private moments. I do have times when I leave my phone at home. I took a walk to the store earlier. I left my phone at home. I said, you know what? I'm leaving it at home. I have to disconnect from this. Just like when you leave your phone on too long and it starts to act weird, you got to cut it off so it can recalibrate. And then you put it back on. You have to take rest with it. Sometimes I go into the bedroom, I leave my phone out here. I leave it all out here. I've learned to do that really within the last few months, how to detach myself, because even I was going near burnout, because you're constantly thinking, constantly thinking. So now when you're a creative person like a Dave Chappelle or anybody else, whether you're a musician, an actor, a private person who just wants to speak over whatever, you got to be careful. We're so easily accessible. And now as comedians now, or just as entertainers, like Dave Chappelle said, we're going to have to carry our own security. Every person who is well known should have the right to carry a firearm or some type of weapon of their choice if they want one. This is the kind of world we live in, yet at the same time, with cancel culture and censorship, we're penalized. You want people to be a comedian, but you get mad at what they say. If I'm going to joke on somebody, excuse me, I got to be able to take it. We used to call it ranking back in the Senate. We're going to have a ranking session. And the only thing we lay the ground was, okay, we ain't gonna talk about nobody's mama, right? We get emotional, you talk about the mama. We ain't gonna talk about this or whatever you want. If you're big and fat, like, listen, don't make fun of me being fat. Okay, I won't touch that, but we'll talk about the scales you broke. I mean, there's ways around it, right? And so we would sit around and speak about things and joke and have fun. What happened to that? Are we that fragile that we can't tell a joke without the fear of losing our life? This person had a vendetta because he was saying he's going to kill Dave Chappelle. He could have killed him. Look, even these things. I don't know if you know what this is. Put it in the chat room if you know what this is. Of course, it's like a razor thingy, right? This is what you use in art school back in the day. Okay, I'll tell you. It's an X-Acto knife. And when you're cutting things around exactly. But this scares me because this can go in somebody's eye. This can cut you. You got to be very careful with this. It doesn't take much to do something to anybody. You have these rulers. You can slice somebody this way. You can dig their eye out. You got to think this way in these days and protect yourself. Even a mere pen that you have in your hand could protect you as a weapon, right? And we can't say anything. Everybody's getting insulted. They're tackling us on the stage now. Yet, censorship, we're not allowed to speak. And I'm going to come back to Dave Chappelle. I want to speak about PayPal, right? And I'm going to read it the right way. If I was telling you the conversation on the phone or something, I just say, hey, blah, blah, blah. But I want to get it right. Here it is. PayPal shuts accounts of anti-war publications Consortium News and Mint Press News. So this is not everybody now or yet, but why are they doing this? Over the past week, the online payments company PayPal has launched a censorship campaign against independent and left-wing publishers who have been critical of the official narrative about the US and NATO war against Russia in Ukraine by arbitrarily shutting down their accounts. On Sunday, Consortium News reported that PayPal had canceled its account without warning or explanation. Editor-in-chief Joe Lauria reported that CN's Consortium News PayPal account was permanently limited just as the publication was launching a spring fund drive. Yeah, they knew what they were doing, right on time. Lauria wrote that Consortium News had lost one of the most important ways for its viewers and readers to show their support through donations. Meanwhile, PayPal told Lauria that the CN balance the payments company was holding might never be returned to the publication. So now you've donated money, and PayPal chose to come at you as an independent left-wing journalist, and you might never get the money. That where is it going to go? So they stole it. People who are donating stole their money. And why? Left-wing. So those who have the power to come after somebody because they don't agree with having the freedom of speech. You're running a business. You're there to make sure that those who don't, I don't care who it is. If that's my business, that's my business. It could be the Klan. Maybe I would shut them down, right? No, I'm just saying. This is the business you're in. You make money from the transfer of money. They're going to find a different way to do it anyway. But you're going to jump in, and right before they launch another thing coming, you're going to snatch it and shut them down. You know, upon the shutdown of the account, PayPal sent CN an email that stated, "You can't use PayPal anymore. We noticed activity in your account that's inconsistent with our user agreement, and we no longer offer you PayPal services. Because of potential risk exposure, we've permanently limited your account. You'll no longer be able to use the account for any transactions." In a phone conversation with a PayPal customer service agent, CN was told that there was no reason recorded in their system as why the account had been shut down. This is very important. The agent said that the account was under investigation and review, and that Consortium News history found some potential risk associated with this account. Regarding the remaining balance in CN's PayPal account, the agent said the money would be held for 180 days while an investigation was completed before a decision would be made about whether or not the funds would be returned, the agent said. If there was a violation, it is possible that the money would be kept by PayPal for damages. What damages? CN reported that among the violations listed under restricted activities of the user agreement are false, inaccurate, or misleading information to PayPal, other PayPal customers, or third parties. Pretty long article, but that pretty much covers it. They're going to get more into detail. But if you're speaking against the war, anti-war sentiments, thoughts, and you have a PayPal account and you have a platform, and the people that vibe with you want to send you money, they're going to jump in and say, aha, but what about the right-wing folks? What about this one? What about that one? So what is it next? You spoke about the LGBT community. You spoke about Black people. You spoke about rednecks. You spoke about, so we're going to jump in and orchestrate this way of stopping you from getting the money that other people feel in their heart to donate to you. Who are you to jump in? Yes, PayPal, that's your platform. But then again, now maybe some of us should start backing up from that, because people can say, well, it's just them. It's just that, but it's them today and somebody else tomorrow. I mean, this is some Gestapo tactics, man. I mean, we don't have any freedoms anymore. Even when you do run something, that's not fair. You chose them. It's your platform, but still you chose them. Why? And you have these user agreements that are really wide in how they word things, so they can manipulate and come after you. And this is why you have to be independent. This is why you have to think for yourself. And this is why you got to get on Lancescurv.com and sign up for being on the email so I can communicate with you directly, because it's just a matter of time. I know I spoke about it before. The United Nations, in connection with other governments all over the world, if they feel your website, your independent website, has terroristic views or leans that way or supports somebody who they don't like, they can shut your website down. So you can't even, like me, I'm independent. I just happen to be here putting my foot in the YouTube world and say, come on to Lancescurv.com, come on. So if they shut me down, we can go over there, which I'm over there now live. The same show is over there now live. So those of you who are new, make sure to sign up to Lancescurv.com. When you get right up under the header on the left-hand side, email subscription, put your email address in there. And that way, push come to shove, we can always remain in contact. But this is what it's coming to in this world. So a woman doesn't have the right anymore over her body. Entertainers are getting tackled. It shouldn't even be that way. So what is it now? We gotta frisk everybody at every function. Might somebody come in, because you know they're not frisking right now. For him to bring that weapon in, they're not frisking. If you're outside, could there be somebody on top of a building with a scope on you? Can you be public anymore? Should we put up bulletproof glass? The same way Minister Farrakhan had to do the Million Man March there in Washington. There was some bulletproof glass around them because we know that we don't have balanced people. They can say, hey, I don't agree with that, but you know what? This person has a right. That should be a worldwide thing. But we know propaganda. But see, social media is so powerful. Now, me, I have to jump through hoops. I got to know in the backyard if I have a dog where not to step before I step in some doo-doo. So we know the doo-doo that they put out and we get around it. And of course, when you're in a fight, you're going to catch a blow. Doing a channel like this, I've been banned for a week and for 2 weeks and walking on pins and needles because the third time and you're out. But it taught me. Now I don't even have to really mentally depend on it and run it down. You know how to find me, Lancescurv.com. And even then, like I say, phone numbers and email addresses, and they'll mess with that also. They'll do whatever it is that they want to do. You saw again what happened with Nurse Navaya. Go to Nurse Navaya's show. Y'all know, most of you who are here knows what happened. You're right, Kevin. I'm not really looking at the chat room, but I had to. It's rigged. It's rigged. Yes, but they should frisk at this point because it could have been a disaster. Who wants, I mean, what other scandal? I'm not saying this is connected to a scandal, but we know that when you're Black in America and Black worldwide and you speak your mind, you could be a comedian, but it's mass truth that you're speaking. And that's what's so funny now. Truth is the funny thing. Truth is a hot commodity. It used to be where it was more slapstick comedy and acting stupid and whatnot, but a brother can get up there and just talk about things in a way. When he spoke about the transgenders and people got all upset, everybody's getting up all upset. But that kind of turns me on. Not sexually, but I'm just saying, making those factions, not just the aforementioned ones, but having the ability to craft a joke that's actually funny to make them think and make them see themselves in a way that they don't want to see themselves, but they have no choice but to see themselves. But that was funny when after everything happened, they said it was a trans man. That's a brilliant mind to come up with something like that. You know what I mean? But it's very important that we support all of our independent artists and entertainers, movers and shakers, scientists, educators, everything. But how are we going to do it when PayPal wants to go by and say, oh no, we're going to shut you down? Mark my words, they're starting that stuff out now. They're gonna continue it. They're gonna continue it until they come after the people because they already know what we're all about. Like it was sent to me earlier today about Facebook working along with the CIA. Come on, if they don't want to admit it, we already know that. We already know that. And it's gonna be, well, how do you know that, Lance? You're spreading false information. We're giving it up. We made the folks at the CIA and the FBI. They got it easy now. We're giving our information. And me, I'm a sacrificial lamb because I know that I have. You know, somebody has to be that sacrificial lamb on social media. It really doesn't bother me because I have no shame. They can pull up anything they want from my past and I'll be, well, check this one out. You want to see some more pictures of my phone? I was doing it better there. You want to hear her moan? I was doing it real good there, right? See, I ain't got no shame. You were naked in Midtown Manhattan at a club stripping and you jumped out of a cake in 1985. Yes, I did. You want to know what I did when I went in the back room with those women? I'll tell you. Did you get any cameras on that? Oh, you didn't? Oh, man, you slipped it. Let me tell you what happened. Don't matter to me. It does not matter to me. You ain't going to shame me with anything in my past because I know where I'm going in my future. I know all of us have done things. It's funny because that's what they depend on. It ain't going to happen with me. But, you know, it's This is not the world that I anticipated when I was younger. Even when I was in my early 20s, even when I turned 30 years old, I did not know that in 29 more years, the world would be the way it is now. You couldn't have, you what? When did I turn 30? April 8th, 1993. That's when I turned 30. And to say in another short 29 years, the World Trade Center would be gone. We lose all the right, but they were watching us anyway. And they introduced this candy to us. And we got seduced by it. They talk about the Ouija board. The hell with a Ouija board. This smartphone is our dumb phone is our Ouija board. We get so caught up in it. We get hypnotized. Even you hand it to a child and they have to be, sweetie, thank you so much. And I appreciate you too. Much love and appreciation. Seriously. Yes, we get so caught up. We get hypnotized. Even a little baby that don't really know. I'm not saying a baby drooling all over himself, but they know something's about they're reaching for it too. But they get to a certain age, you see them quiet. They got a hold of your phone. You got locks on it. You got different, and they know how to navigate it instinctively. And it hits that pleasure center of the brain. It's like a crack pipe. You can find anywhere your mind is, you can connect with that there on the phone. Do you realize that? Anywhere your mind goes, of something that you can ask Google, because that's how I was told to use Google. Ask it a question. Put it in question form with the question mark in it. It will give you an answer, but it's only as good as what's uploaded. So even when you don't see something on Google, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. If you have childhood memories from a particular street or block or neighborhood, upload some things. But do you want to feed the beast that way? You never know. But it's an intoxicant. Everybody's walking around with this thing, looking at it. And a lot of times we go places we're not supposed to go. I'm not saying we're not supposed to go there, but it hits our brain so hard that we would rather stay in this phone than engage in the outside world. Walking down the street, crossing busy streets, the phone is so important to us. Cars and trucks are flying by. We want to see one more second of this thing. Okay, the bar's going to cross. Wait, hold on now. I want to see what's coming. You see what I mean? So this is what it is. I never knew how many people when I was driving the bus out in America. I'm driving down Kirkman Road, getting it. I would even take the bus and stay out of the right lane. Queen Morant Rogers, thank you. Grateful to you also in your talented self. You called me. I didn't get a chance. Not like I'm so busy, but my mind has been all over the place. Honestly, I pushed the limits of my sanity, so to say, to keep certain things going and to do other things and jumping through hoops here and there. Because there's certain times in the righteous fight, you got to really focus and just throw down, and focus on what you got to do. But there's no reason why we can't do something within the next 7 days if you're free and if you want to. I'm here. Hit me up and let me know. Just tell me, Lance, we're doing this. You choose a day, or these are the days I want, and I have it right there. So you know me like that. You don't have to, tiptoe around and just say, hey, Lance, what's up? What's up? Let me get a little sip of this almond milk. I didn't know I had so much. Oh, I can drink now, I'm telling you. I know dudes that get up in the morning time and hit some vodka like that. They just do it. I'm like, what? You're bombing yourself. You ready to die? You don't want to live life? Vodka in the morning time? What are you doing? Curing yourself. Whip out your thing to pee and it's a pickle. For real. But really, we're sitting ducks, y'all. And I'm not going to be the guy to walk around the main street with the big sign, the world is coming to an end. This physical world ain't going nowhere. It's us and our own righteous connection to what's righteous that we are ending. We are allowing ourselves to cut ourselves short. Like I said, look at all of the things that the last 50 years that has been developed and how much things have changed. The last 50 years. Look at how in the last 25 years, things have changed. Just 25 years. It's accelerating. In the next 10 years, could you imagine how fast the world is going to change? And it's not really for the better. They bring us this technology that's so fascinating, and we're like little babies again. And it's like seeing something out of a movie. Those of us who are in that generation to think that when we saw Dick Tracy with a watch on, that he can look into and talk. We knew that was never going to happen. That's some old science fiction stuff. We look at the Jetsons and the things they have. Now we got microwave ovens, and they would have had cars flying a long time ago, but that's just not going to work. How do you drive drunk or fly drunk like that? But there's another level of technology that's about to bust out that really they have there, but we're not ready for. We will lose our minds. That there are people now who would rather get into the porn, and just like my friend Angelo said, back in the late 70s and the early 80s, he said, you know what? And he was right. They're going to have suits that you wear with sensors all over it. And it's going to be somebody on the other side. They had computers, but it was crude back then, watching you or watching through their goggles, and they can touch you from where they are, and it sends a nerve and to touch that part of your body, and you can make love, you can have sex without even leaving out of the suit, and they can be on the other side of the world. It is right, it's happening now. Look at these dolls that they make. There's no more of those dolls like this. With the seams on the side, you know. I had a friend of mine that had one. He said, well, it comes in handy. I'm like, what? Are you serious? They said, no, it ain't gonna work. These things now look real. If you said, I mean, the feeling of the skin. There was a show on HBO many years ago about that. I mean, everything looked real. And it got down to the private parts, everything was real. Moisture and all, scent and all. But what is it about us that's making us want to leave reality? Sign off from reality. Like, is this other thing, metaverse, imagination, so much better than reality? What's better than biting into an apple? What's better than waking up and you're laying in the bed? Oh, I'm gonna lay down in the bed for 20 more minutes, but we got a busy day, we got a full day, and you can't wait to get with your friends, take the scenic route on the drive, go to the restaurant and sit in front of friends and talk about how the good old days were and how these are the good old days and the times that are going to be coming as you get older, enjoying life, breathing air, going into the water, just laughing. We don't even laugh hard anymore. We laugh hard at this thing. It's normal now. If this was 30 years ago and you saw, oh man, oh, you'd be like, that person's losing their mind. They're losing their mind. But no, mental illness is acceptable now. We are so far off the pike of living in balance. We don't even know what balance is anymore. See, all of these electronic things and technologies that we have, we can push a button and order something. I don't mean order a product, but order some type of thought. Now we think we're like that. Well, I got to work a double shift tomorrow night, then I got to come back after 5 hours of sleep on my day off, work 2 more shifts. Let me get some cocaine. And they just stiff themselves up, do that to their body to perform for something that's going to be here when they die. The things around us have become more important than us. We got 1 liver, 2 kidneys, 2 eyes, 1 heart, but we're going after so much. It's just like in the sport of bodybuilding right now. I'm not going to get into the boring end of bodybuilding or whatever, but it's chemical warfare now. It's not about health. It really never was, but it should be. It was supposed to be about health and keeping yourself fit and strong to live a full life. So that even as you age, you're still strong and you're still vibrant because you've been living healthy. Now, these men these days will do anything. It's been going on for decades. I've seen it back in my day when I was doing it. That's one of the reasons why I left it. I couldn't take it. I was not going to do that. Just pumping yourselves up. And you're talking about drugs as though it's something, you know, the things you do to your body. I'm not going to get too much into the technical, but these things you do just to get a certain look, you didn't earn that, man. You might have trained and ate a certain way, but you're blowing yourself up. That's like me looking at breast implants and getting turned on looking at it. I mean, the breast has been sexualized. We understand that, and I grew up in America, so I see breast that way, but I'm easing out of that. But remember, oh my God, look at that. How are you going to like something plastic? It's because we've been handed the plastic. We don't even have money anymore. We don't barter. We don't see the value of this, and I trade you this for this. Now it's just plastic. The woman doesn't have a man no more. Now she got man. She don't want no man. Guess what? Nighttime come, she got the plastic. Now this is a flashlight, but it's plastic, right? And at nighttime, bzzz, Benoit balls, battery operated boyfriend, you know, clit stimulator, whatever you want to call it. That's just the way it is. Now let me remove this banner here. Yeah, okay, because it's moving by, it's distracting to me. Let me go back into the comment section. You know, I haven't been looking in it. Yeah, plastic, the battery. We're giving our children these bottles to suck on with formula, and the mom is right there. Plastic, fake. So now this is the manifestation of what we've been doing. So we're disconnected from each other. We're disconnected. We're going after the plastic, but instead of going after the person. Cards now. How much money do you have in your card? You have plastic. Yeah, that's the system we're in. We're going to have to use it while we're in it. But just know how you stand. Know what's happening to us. That over the breast, we want the bottle. Over the bartering and negotiation, that we come to a happy medium, we go after the plastic, right? So we're losing our soul. We're spilling our essence out, and we're losing it because we're not going to get any energy given back to us in the interaction with the plastic. These things that titillate you so much in the back of your mind, and it takes up your mind. Not to go off too much into that subject, but we spoke about that before. We spoke about porn, and I'm going to do, many people have asked me, hope rice, the only rice I F's with. If it don't have a W in front of it, that's the rice I won't mess with. Only hope rice. I love you, sweetheart. You got to come out here. I miss you so much. I miss your energy. I love your energy. And I told you, I shot up from the mountaintops. You're my sister, and I love you, just like I love all my sisters here. But Hope Rice, she's a warrior, boy. She'll get up in your ass. I'm telling you. She just don't talk. But she's the most kindest, loving person, and I understand her energy. But like I said, even speaking about porn, I'm just going to throw this one out there since we talk about the plastic. So you find the thing you want to look at. You got your little lubrication. You sitting there, jigga, 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 jigga. What you think is around you attractive? Don't you understand that we have entities around us that we can't see? And they're drawing this energy out of you? And when you get to the point of the climax, they're enjoying it more than you because they coaxed you into doing that. And you telling these forces around you, you throw it out to the universe what you like or what you're weak for. And so now the next day you're walking down the street, you count your paycheck, you got paid, whatever, and the very thing that you saw on the screen is right in front of you. Hi, baby, how you doing? Not the exact person, but a situation like that to pull you up because you done told your business behind a locked door and you sitting in front of a screen. There's spiritual repercussions for every single thing that we do, but we don't realize that because we're so worldly. So what happens to your little private parts when you leave your body? Are you going to get horny in spirit form? You know what I mean? These are the things I think. We put so much energy toward that. You know, and it's a nice thing when you have a right connection. But those things shouldn't dominate our lives. Even our egos. Yes, we have to get a car to get around. We live in certain places where we work a little further. We save time. Cool. I'm not against you on that. But when we start to think, well, you know, I got this Toyota Corolla. I need to have this Benz. Why? I'm not against you if you can afford it and you want that and you worked hard, but don't let it take you over. I know people with multiple Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, Jaguars, and they're not even into it. That's the way you're supposed to be. Those are things. That's trash in a way. But people die lonely. Why? Because they're into the engineered world that man put out there, that illusion. I don't want the illusion no more. I don't want it. I never really ran after it, but I'm not going. At this point in my life, I'm detaching myself. They can change laws around, as you see with Roe versus Wade, right? They can censor you and come after you and mess up your. They can do what they want, but they can't mess with you on the inside when you have a certain conviction to live your life a certain way, when you have a certain inner peace to live a certain way. When the simple joys in life bring you great joy and you're not connected with these conditions that you better have this big car before you're happy and I got to have this mansion before I'm happy. For me, it's the joy of the process. The joy of the process, pursuing something that brings joy to me at my own pace. Even the very things you love can shackle you and drain you out. Me being rigid and saying, I'm going to do this amount of shows every day, and I can do that. And I still do a lot more than what most people think they can do effortlessly because it's in me. But I'm doing it like I used to do it back in the day where, see, when I'm finished with this, I'll put this up. I'm a little fatigued tonight because I have a free day tomorrow except for 1 o'clock when me and my sister do a little videotape, and you'll find out what sister it is, right? We're going to do this. But I'm not pulling myself out of myself and feeling disconnected, because my consciousness should be around me. It should not be somewhere else across town. And I'm just a zombie, but my mind is somewhere else. My mind's telling me no, but my mind is somewhere else. And we're not enjoying the moment that we're in. We're sitting here, right here in this time and space. You sit in front of your mom or your father, your son, your daughter, whoever, and you're not even seeing them. You're not even vibrating with them because you got these little phones up in front of you. Or sitting down and you just bing, makes a noise, and you got to keep peeking. Like I said, one day, very soon, I will not own a cell phone. I will tell y'all how to reach me, how to get with me, but one day I can see it. Once my work with this whole stuff is done, I'm getting rid of it. We got too used to the other thing. What happened to writing? What happened to that phone call from the big black phone in the living room that you know, well, we call long distance to South Carolina, so you know you're only gonna stay on there for 15 minutes, but I ain't calling before 12 because the rates are too high. What happened to the calling cards where you knew how much time you were going to get? You had to get that talk on. But now we can talk for hours, talking to people in Germany, talking to people in South America, getting wrong phone calls from the Philippines. It's no problem now. They seduced us this way. And those who are being brought up in it, guess what? They stuck. They born stuck. They born used to this thing. For those of us like me now, I come around for a time, but way before that stuff, so I can still remember that. But like I always like to say, I can talk to friends of mine in this age group, and we can talk about the good old days of things that we did organically with each other. Remember the time, man, we saw that girl and the curtains dropped and she didn't really realize that she had a milk. She was dancing naked, all kind of stuff I didn't see. And we laugh about these things. We laugh at ourselves, situations that we found ourselves in, right? But now, what are the kids now today who they're worshiping this, and nothing sweeter than the little cell phone, or as a symbol of prestige out here in the motherland? I'll tell you, you got more jokers on the side of the road selling cell phone cases like this, different types, right? That's like plastic surgery for the cell phone. They can't afford the fancy cell phone, so they get the silicone fake titties for the cell phone. So they change it around and walk around. It's a prestige thing. Just like back in the day when young men wanted to have a car and they're in high school. So they got any old car and they were glad to have private space of their own. So when them and their girlfriend wanted to go make out, they had that back seat. They felt bigger and better than everybody else because I have a car. I can drive this person. No, I don't like you. I'm not driving you. You know what I mean? So we're attached to the wrong things. Seriously. And if we were truly connected, why would we need a PayPal? If we were truly connected, why would Dave Chappelle need a security guard with him or a bodyguard with him? If we were truly connected, nothing that the federal government says or the Supreme Court says would alter our life, because we would be doing everything right. The only antidote for this whole thing for us as Black people is straight up unity. If we all said that we were related to each other, just imagine a world like that we were righteous now, because we don't want to be related to some people who are straight bums. Yeah, I'm related. Give me a $50 loan and never gets paid back, right? But imagine we've been scattered and messed up through this thing called slavery. And even if we don't come from an area that, or we can say, no, we never had to do that in a bloodline, it still affected you because you're still melanated and they're still looking at you a certain way. So nobody is exclusive from this thing. Whether either you had them directly in your bloodline, and if you didn't, it don't make you no better. They still look at you the same way. If you don't remember anything else about Paul Mooney, the Paul Mooney nigga wake-up call. So many of us are so stupid, but just imagine if we all operated as though we were closely related, right? It's even like coming up, I used to see not the Final Call, but Muhammad Speaks newspaper, right? And that was the original Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam. And then when he passed away, and then Farrakhan, a couple of years, went through his little thing, he brought it back as a Final Call. And it was so funny because we see the brothers out there, and I was much younger. And I explained, Daddy, How come all of them got the last name Muhammad, right? Kevin Muhammad, Charles Muhammad, you know what I mean? Hoochie Muhammad, everybody was Muhammad. So what you gonna do? I'm not saying everybody change the name to the same name, but what if we all acted as though we were related? We would banish money on the spot, wouldn't we now? We can send his money away. Not that we're just gonna give our stuff away. We're all gonna have value, but if all I sold was almond milk and all you had was water, and I wanted some water and you wanted some almond milk, well, we'll trade, we'll barter. Well, I think 5 of these are worth 10 of those. So we wouldn't need them. We wouldn't need them. But they ripped us off now. They got to charge interest rates for loans. Well, why can't we loan out our life force? Well, you have to pay this much interest rate on a loan. It's going to take you 30 years to pay it off. Well, keep your money. We'll bring real life force. Sister Hope, we're going to build you a house. Well, you know, I ain't got no money. Don't worry, we ain't ask you for no money. All the brothers who are carpenters, we're going to come by, we're going to swing through, and we're going to put our stuff together, and we're going to all chip in. And we're going to get away from the money at some point, because the guy that has the cinder blocks, the pipes, the wires, they may need you to look after their kids or teach their kids. So you do that for them, and we'll exchange. We don't need no money. Simple as that. But we all want to feel it. Oh, they're going to give us $30 an hour. That's good pay. How do you know that's good pay? How much life force do you have to give to get the $30 an hour? Like, okay, where's this little bit of money I have here? Okay, now I'm going with the small bills. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. They don't even make the money right here. Look at this. This is a CD, y'all. Look how this look. Look. Now they got the 20 CD bill, a little more erect. The 5 is a little more floppy. But look at the CD. They don't even make the money the same size to fold up right. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Look at this. One of these, it's you get 7.15 of these for $1 American dollar, and the American dollar is sinking, and this is also sinking. We got all these resources, red soil and vegetation growing, chocolate and bauxite and gold, places here that I look down, glistening. And one day I'll do a video on that. All these resources, and we're so foolish to go after a piece of friggin' paper. Where's my toilet paper? You know what? Next time I go to the bed, no, I'm not gonna do that. It still has some kind of value. But I had to get used to it when I came here, because like something that costs 50 cents would cost $3.50 under the exchange rate now. 1 for 7. $1 for 7. So you see these inflated prices, you're like, whoa, because you're still thinking like it's dollars. But it's still slipping. They can manipulate these numbers, but you can't manipulate life force. They can manipulate your pay and deducting things out of your pay. You're giving them your real life force, and they're handing you back a dead manifestation of life force. This does not love me. This doesn't talk to me. This doesn't hug me when I'm crying. This doesn't soothe me in the midnight hour when I take a loss and a family member transitions. And so we fight so hard for this, and realize at the end of the day we don't have nothing. But do we have each other? But there are those here in the chat room that I can call up if I needed them and say, hey, I need to come over, I need to whatever. I've never done that, but I'm just saying, and the same thing you can do with me. We need each other. We don't need the money like this. The money is the plastic. It's sucking us out. But while we're in the system, we have to still tap dance and be like that little girl who's playing double dutch, and she by the side, timing the ropes and getting out. See, I did mine in 2020. I was timing everything, but I was thinking about it from years before. All of a sudden, leave America. And that's not only going to be the answer either. You can come to the motherland all you want and run into some of the same jokers, the spirits that they have to want to rip you off, and they came from the same place. So you got to be careful who you deal with. You have people here, hey, brother, welcome home. And they're ready to gank you, to get your money. I'm not saying bust you over the head, but a lot of them, I've been ripped off several times since being here. I'm not gonna lie. Ripped off to thousands and thousands and thousands, not knowing, trusting the Colgate smile. Some from here, and some from over the other side too. And you learn that everybody is not ready for that level. Some people like the plastic. Some people sell you out for this. It's all about this. That's all it is. Have no moral integrity. Yeah, I get on the shows and talk stupid, talk crazy, talk sexual. We gotta laugh. We all pass gas. We all love orgasms. We all love a good bit of food. Sometimes I sit up in front of the refrigerator, butt naked. I thought you was going to the bathroom. You sitting up there eating the food out the fridge. I'm like, yeah, that's the way I do it. It tastes better when you do it that way. But we're all living. All we have is us. And it's up to us to build the world that we crave. If I always told this to fellas when they asked me relationship advice, I said, if you want a fantasy to happen to you, you also have to be a fantasy to that woman. And we don't mean fantasy something fake, but be the real thing so she feels as though she's living in a fantasy. And when we say fantasy, we always talk about sex. It doesn't mean just that. It's to secure her and love her. And so this is the other thing that I want to speak about. Maybe I'll touch on it right here. The more that we have certain animals, I gotta call my friend Angela to get the exact facts, but trust me on this. He's been telling me this for years, that when certain animals feel that their life is threatened, they begin to go through the motions of procreation. I don't mean like some lions biting their leg and say, I'm gonna die soon, let's get one in. No, but the tension, the thick tension in the jungle, the thick tension where you are. Look at us. We see our friends being killed. We see some of our friends ODing on drugs. We see some of our friends jumping off buildings, putting bullets in their head. Gang warfare. Certain young men don't feel they're going to live past the age of 21 to be legal in the system. No jobs, no nothing. I ain't going to live to no 30. See? And we give up on that. And see, what do? Sex is the thing we go after because that's a survival mechanism. If you feel like you're gonna die, really it's a righteous thing in a sense. So look at the hoods. I'm not saying just black people live in the hoods. I'm just speaking regular right now. This is no script, never was, never will be, and never have. But look at some of the hoods that some of us live in. The conditions that are there, that's all some of us know. Not all of us know that that's a hood. Projects. It's engineered to keep producing certain conditions to keep them rich, to keep the men locked up from not paying the child support. And when they come out, they've been away from a woman for so long, that's the first thing they want to get. They want to get a slice of pizza, and they want something else that starts with letter P that has 5 letters in it too. They want that relief, they want that, but then the tensions are still there. So we make more of each other. Righteously, it should be we make more of ourselves so we can have more manpower, more woman power to build. But it's a pleasure thing now because we're in so much pain. And those are the 2 highest motivational factors in our life. We want the pleasure, but we don't want the pain. We want the pleasure, but we don't want the pain. Like a piston in the engine. Choo, choo. And so we're moving fast away from one. And when it comes to bite us, when we're broke sometime, girl, I ain't got much money, but you know you're looking good in that dress. And we ain't got nothing else to do tonight, so I'm coming on over. Then what? You see what I mean? So we're trapped in that. And we don't see the beauty of each other. We don't see the value in each other because now the women say they don't need a man. They go downtown, the white man give them a job. Oh yeah, I don't need you. They see the soap operas and TV shows, reality TV shows, and YouTube's there to put the propaganda in your head. So it's all about pulling us apart. We're not supposed to have family no more. That's the most satisfying thing. When you look at that woman who you chose and she chose you and you work together in unison. And yeah, you're looking at her. You have the right to. You're supporting her. You're loving her. You're faithful to her. You're taking care of her as you should. And she has no choice but in her spirit when right to want to undergird you and support you. And I'm not saying follow you like, she has no say-so. It's 50-50, lock and key. And sometimes it's 80-20. Sometimes when you're weak, she's strong. And when you're strong, she's weak. You complement each other. But you don't go and put somebody down because they're at a low moment. You're there to build that man up. That man is there to protect you and feed you and give everything to you. If you have a little $5 in your wallet, then so what? Let her run the home. Let her do what she wants to do in the home so you come home to heaven. What happened to that? All this, what? I don't need no man. But guess what? You got that little piece of plastic. Now, this is metal, right? Or that brother that comes around that has a little hook in this thing, right? He just hits one side of me. It just feels so good. But he hitting everybody. We're so dysfunctional and thrown off. We're what each other needs. Let me tell you something. Like the last few days has been hitting my heart. And I want to do one of them zone out podcasts, but the black woman in her natural state, not even knowing it, is so powerful. And everything about her is just so fabulous. And a lot of brothers that don't know how to take the energy and even the sensuous energy, they let it go to one thing. Man, I want to hit that. I want to hit this one. I want to go to bed with that one. But it's something that they have that is so heartwarming and so, it's like when you're a little baby and you snuggle on the bosom. Comfort, love, warmth. This society has us twisted around against each other, and we don't give that to each other freely. Black women here and in America. I'm not knocking my sisters because I'm here, but I do get a chance to see the basic model more. The young ladies from way out in the country that come here to work, and they don't have all the extras. I'm not saying my sisters from America just want the European extras, which you see, and you have them out here too. Big billboards to bleach the skin, beauty parlors, like you ain't beautiful enough. They call it hair salons in the white community, but we call it beauty parlors in our community. Why? We call it liquor stores where we are, but it's wine and spirits where they are. But we don't notice those things. But there's an energy about that black woman that the enemy doesn't want us to appreciate. It's not just about having sex. I look at people all day long. I'm an artist. I'm an empath. I feel things. I look at all parts of people with a different eye. And I see many beautiful women from the inside that would make wonderful wives. But some of our brothers are so stupid. Oh man, she too black, man. What you mean? That's what you want. Oh man, her ass too big. And we talking about big, right? But so what? Look how loving she is. Look how she looks at you. Not even in a lust level. Look how she looks at you with love and she admires you. But you take it the wrong way. Hey man, I think she won't give me some money. Why you always putting it there? That's there. You will get that. But you're missing out on so much more from the black woman. When she takes the time, even if you don't know her personally, and you get an eye contact and she works in the restaurant and she just feels something positive about you and she puts a little extra love in that plate and brings it to you and stands back and just watches you eat it because she's getting the satisfaction from that connection to you. She's showing you love through that food. But too many of us think that the woman is showing us love when she gives us sex. And why can't you show love to your sister without always thinking that way? Why can't you compliment her? You can acknowledge that she's well built without insulting her. It's like, listen, you really have a nice, beautiful body. But I really love your smile. I love the way you look. I love the way, there's something about you. Give them the compliments. Don't just tell them all the same thing. Find something unique about them that they know that they have. But when you acknowledge it, it makes them feel better. Because I have comfort walking around because there's always a sister nearby that would show me a righteous love. And we got to show them concern about what they're going through, how they feel. A lot of times they feel so beat down and all we can see is titties and ass. Damn, girl, them lips. I know you can do damage. Is that all you got, man? Does this man got you messed up so much? And yeah, as black men, a lot of us are messed up. Growing up, looking at TV, love American style, white women in short skirts, Benny Hill. and nothing but them white women jumping around. And he's like, man, look up, her titties are hanging out. Look at that little short skirt, so and so. And your woman is right there, beautiful as can be. And you're running after this old pale thing with a flat behind and no soul. They ain't got no soul. They like worms, caterpillars humping up and down, but don't have no connection to you. I want a real beautiful black woman, no matter what the shade now, because the melanin is really not just about the skin, it's that connection on the inside. Because I know I got melanin, and maybe I don't have as much as my father did because he was of a darker complexion. But you can't tell me I don't have it when you watch me walk down the street and you see me talking, when you see the power inside of me, just walking in the room regular. I don't even look like I used to look when I was back in the day in bodybuilding. It's not about that. It's me who manifested my body because my mind is so strong. And we always think it's a superficial thing. I see some brothers skinny as can be. You look at me, you don't want to fight that little guy right there. He will tear you up. But it's not about a fight. We're on the same side. But why don't we appreciate our sisters more? And even love them so much that we can, in a loving way, correct them. And have conversation with them. And correct them. With love, where they leave and say, you know what I thought about what you told me yesterday, and it was the truth. It's all in the approach. I can't fight fire with fire. What you mean you don't need no man? You need some of this, girl, so and so. That's gonna make them go off the deep end. Because we're all hurting. We all want acknowledgement. We all want love, the real love, not that. We talk about, most of us, when we have an orgasm with the opposite sex, and some of y'all who do whatever y'all do, right? Oh, I love you. I remember the first time somebody, first thing out of my mouth, oh God, I love you. 2 weeks later, it was somebody else, ooh, I love you too, right? I loved a whole lot of people till I realized that it is what it is. But the real love, right? The real love, where you really care for somebody, right? And it's not just to somebody, but your people. And you walk with this thing and say to yourself, you know what, today, no matter, I can't be scratching it. Look, see, that's why I keep this. It gets it real good. Shoot, if I wasn't an artist, I'd have one the same way. It gets right in the spot. I ain't got to contort myself, and I'm good. Yeah. But see. Let me say, what's it? Imogen, I'm gonna say straight up, that's wrong. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Lance. It ain't the brothers that's picky about color. It's our queens that have all these check-offs. There are some like that. Didn't I say that we need to talk to them out of the spirit of love? We can't start this, well, it ain't this, and it's you, and all. That's falling into the trap that social media foolishness that's put here to divide us. And this video ain't gonna get no hits. Most of my good ones don't get no hits. I'm not just out here. I'm on the corner right now talking to y'all. I can go to bed right now. I earned it. I said an hour, it's 1 hour and 18 minutes. I'm gonna sleep deep. I'm gonna have a good old sleep tonight. But we just talking for real. I'm not knocking you because I don't know you personally, right? But the bottom line is that we gotta do something to look beyond this, And when we do run into a sister who does that, even me, when in America, in the wintertime, my complexion is lighter, it don't matter. But I've had women back in the days when the lighter skinned brothers were more in vogue before the bars fell out. Now be sure, no, that's just a joke. I love my chocolate skinned brothers also. I never felt like, oh, I got an advantage over you. But we had some of our sisters who went that way and they wanted a lighter baby. And guys that had the lighter eyes, they wanted this. We got to talk to them and let them know what has happened to them. And we're not the enemy. But see, they will learn over time when they do have those checkoff lists. They'll learn. They'll learn that it's not just about the skin color or how much money you make. It's about the person and the love and the maturity and the wisdom that they have. Of course, you have to earn and be able to support. You got to earn a woman's love, right? But she has to be worthy of it also. She just can't present a body and say, I'll bend over, I'll put you in my mouth, I'll blow your mind. There's more to it than that. Who just wants that? That feels good, but sugar tastes good. You see me walk around with a spoon, I'm just going to eat. I'm blowing my pancreas out. I'll make myself diabetic. You know what I mean? But we got to move in balance and in love. And look, let's take a day, one of these days, I'm gonna wrap it up soon, and have a pen and a paper or something in your cell phone, and how much compliments, not just, hey, you look nice and keep going, but really, if you have the time, break the barrier. You're on the bus stop with someone, you see them every day, you don't say much to them. Just let them listen. I'm not coming on to you, but I really love the way you carry yourself. They have to really carry themselves a certain way. You know, give it to them the way they need, that if they have a good point. So what, you might have heard them curse out somebody on that bus a few days. They might be in pain. Give them something good to say, man, this person walked up to me and told me this. This brother wasn't even trying to hit on me. That means he really observed me, whatever. And then it opens the door for other things. We need to communicate. We don't communicate no more. We do this. That's it. We're losing the connection because of this. This is robbing us. They call it technology. I say it's taking knowledge. That's what it's doing. Well, listen, y'all, I'm going to wrap it down right now. I think I enjoyed myself a little bit with these stories. I always go on a little longer. I need some sleep. I'm in straight Uncle Fester mode. I need a light bulb light up. Right. But it's been good. And we'll be back tomorrow. I have a lot of footage to show and share. And I want to come back at nighttime. I'm going to get a lot of rest. I'm going to be home most of the day, go out a little bit up on the rooftop, and just continue to do what we do and know that we're worthy. Know that there's a job for us to do, that we got to strip away this propaganda that has us at each other's necks and against each other, and try to heal. And if we all can do that and try to come to a person in a healing manner to make them feel good, to communicate a point and be shrewd about it without battling them or fighting them and pointing a finger at them. We know certain things. Listen, when you're in a fight, you're going to get hit. You can be the winner of the fight and look worse than the one who you beat. You took some blows, but you took them for a righteous cause, because it brought healing in the next person to make them see there's nobody out here who can speak to our people better than we can, because we've all been through similar situations, and especially in this world with the worldwide racism, global racism, and not just that, but if you don't have money, they look at you like you're broke. If you don't look like you're on a magazine cover, should be on, oh, you're ugly, this, yeah. All these hoops that we got to jump through, for what? And then we jump through all of them and realize it didn't even matter. So the main thing is that we have each other. Man, I go out sometimes and I keep my cameras with me, you all know that. And I kick back and I float. I talk to people, meet people, flow. The other day I was down by Independence Square and ran into some, I haven't even put it up yet, some brothers and sisters that run events. And they ran a big event down there and I missed it. And so now we connected, and anytime they have something, they're gonna let me know. And I can get right on in there, right on the front row of anything, because we're gonna bring everything to you. And they were very sweet individuals, young and loving, and had their heads on straight, and didn't look at me like, oh, you're from America, or this, that. No, they embraced me. They know I'm a little older than them, but it's about creativity. It's about that goal. It's about moving forward in the spirit of love. I'll save the other emotions for the enemy. The way they come at me, they get it reflected back at them. But the more you love each other, is the faster you can defeat your enemy. So when you mean mug each other, talk about each other, gossip, and put each other down and try to throw off on them, you're making it easy for the enemy to defeat not just me or you by yourself, but all of us. It's really simple. It's like relaxing when you're in the quicksand and moving slowly. When you fight against it, you're going to sink faster. There's ways to do this thing and extend your life and have a nice ride through the life. I have no insecurities at all. I don't look the way I used to look, but I just don't have that. I'm here and I'm glad to be here. You know how many people hop in their car to go home and never make it home? Go into bed and never wake up? They get themselves together for work, not knowing that that's the last day they're going to see home. I think like that because I've seen it happen. And I know all of our time is coming in some form or fashion, but this moment here that I have, I just have to say I love you all. Salute to my brothers and much love to my sisters. And I do what I do out of a vibrational love, even if I'm angry sometimes and I'm ranting. It's because I'm pissed off at us sometimes. I want to see us do better. Because I know I can do better and you can do better. And collectively we can make things better and make it heaven on earth. We can make it heaven on earth instantaneously. But we're so caught up in the propaganda and the crap that they put out that we believe, don't even know it, we believe it. Addicted to their stuff. And they're tearing us up. They're killing us, and we back in their stores spending our money on them. While this little bit of money has a little bit of value, before we throw it down, we need to build our empire and treat each other like we're all related and give each other hookups and share our energies. We all sitting there living separate. Come up in a family, say they have 10 kids, and each one of the children got to go out and get a separate apartment, a separate car. No, you should stay here until you're on your feet enough where you can get your own and do like them Jewish people do, right? They're not letting their people go and work for nobody else. They're going to keep, if they don't have a business of their own, they got a buddy within their community who can do it. They support each other. We don't do that. We're all standing out in the line by the bus stop, not speaking to each other. We know each other, have all this wealth of information and talent, and we don't share it with each other. We go right on to the enemy and give our life force and come back and live separate. That's a damn shame. Anyway, I'm going to end this. I'm going to wrap it up. I didn't have a chance to greet anybody here. Sweet D, Naima, Ella G, Emo. I didn't mean to come so hard at you, brother or sister. I don't know by the name. Let me see. I'll have a chance to look at this after. That's what it's all about. Positively Angela. Come on now. This weekend, just an hour. Let's do it. Let's break that barrier that's building up. I'm here. Let's do it. Rebecca Morgan. Wow, it's been a good chat room. I've been missing out. Ibarra, O, Kevalev, of course. Hope Rice in the house. Now, I'm not going to keep scrolling up. Queen Moret Rogers. And yeah, Sweet D. If I'm missing Olinda Petty, I haven't seen in a while, but I haven't been doing any lives recently like that. Yeah. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'll check this out later on, but I'm gonna get some rest now. I'm gonna toil around for like 15 minutes and wrap down, see if there's anything I have to do on the site. But go to Lancescurv.com, and on the left-hand side where it says subscribe, the email subscription, put your email in there just in case they knock me off. Arlene Lopez, yes. OL, I'm missing all kinds of ray of sunshine. Brenda, how are you? Yes, we gotta talk soon. Superman, well, Superman always swoops down in here, I don't even know it, right? Well, I'm gonna cut it at that. And just know that I love you all, and we're gonna do what we do, and I'm gonna continue to do what I do out of love, and it's effortless because this is no show. It's a show, but it's no show. I'm just sitting here talking. So next time, it's the first thing I'm gonna check. For those who got in here late, they'll tell you what happened. I'm gabbing away for like 5 minutes and didn't even have the wire. I did everything technically perfect, except I forgot to put the daggone wire. I'm human, y'all. Anyway, much love to you all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good rest. For me, 2:55, woo, Lord, you ain't there yet, but you will be. But another 5 minutes, I will be in the bed snoring. Peace, y'all. Okay, let's see how this is gonna go. All right, there we go. Let's do this right. I miss you too, Linda.
all day, all of those spaces where I won't be. You left this room, what did you do? I just ain't getting up. Too caught up in the love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants to. I've been thinking for myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work for you. Yeah, you always made me feel like okay. You never leave my thoughts alone. You're the reason I'm going down. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights and sleepless. You need space, yeah, maybe you're afraid when you're my weakness. Giving me faith, the love that we make is my favorite drug. So caught up in your love, I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain holds you. I've been thinking for myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like okay. You never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going down. I just can't stop thinking about you. Got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay here all day. You're the reason I can't get out of my bed. I just can't stop thinking about you. 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 I just can't stop thinking about you.
Sister Zenobia, wherever you are, we love you.
You and me try to explain the way I feel. Let me speak, it's not enough. Can we be real? You and me, do we fix this broken heart? Baby, yeah. You and me, can't give up, you can't back down. You and me, I can't get both feet on the ground. You and me, we can't just go back to the start again. It's not easy, it never is. I can't go back, I don't know any more than this. This, you pulling me, you're like a gravity. So I want you into my galaxy. That is for the record. I wanna fly on this whole place into reality. I know it hurts, but I believe. But I want you to know I wanna be. In a dream, I let you back into my life. In a dream, you'll be my prince, I'll be your prince. What's happening? It's just a fantasy, it's not real. Oh, it's not easy, it never is. I can't go back, I don't know any more than this. You're pulling me down like a gravity. So I wanted you into my galaxy. Man, please for the record, I wanna fly on this whole place into reality. I know it hurts, but I gotta leave. But I want you to know how I feel. You're like the gravity, so I wanna do into my galaxy. I'm letting you for the record. I wanna fly on this whole place into reality. I know it hurts, but I gotta leave. But I want you to know how I feel. In a dream, I let you